The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Ride for Angels on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth. Welcome to another edition of Triad Today, and we're coming to you again from the wonderful Kernersville Auto Museum. It's great. Check it out. We'll tell you more about it later on. Later on is when the roundtable shows up. We are going to get in some controversial topics, so stay tuned for that. Lots of important things to talk about in this show, so I hope you'll stay with us. Where we want to start, though, is with two very special guests. One who's been with us many times before, and he brought a special guest. So I'll go the opposite way. On the far right, our good buddy Jimmy Fleith, Director of Government Community Relations for Duke Energy. He brought along a special guest, the Honorable Nellie Brown, Mayor of Walnut Cove. We welcome, good to see both of you.
Great,
Thank you for being here.
Jimmy, let me start with you. What are Duke Energy's plans for nuclear power here in the Triad, and how have you involved area leaders in that plan, area leaders like Mayor Brown?
Yeah, great question. You know, we've talked on the show before, I think, a little bit about Duke Energy's plans to pursue an early site permit to build a new nuclear station right here in the Triad on Ballew's Lake,
right.
Which Walnut Cove is the closest town to that. And, you know, I think people are surprised to learn that more than 50% of our energy comes from nuclear power here in the Carolinas.
Right.
But, you know, we're just not familiar with it here in the Triad.
It's clean, it's good.
It is, yeah, it's not non-carbon. And so we've taken a couple of tours for key leaders such as Mayor Brown down to McGuire Nuclear Station just to familiarize them with, you know, what a nuclear plant is. Now that's a bigger plant. What we're planning at Ballew's Creek is a small modular reactor, so
right.
A smaller style plant. But I thought it'd be great for her to come and share a little bit about her experience of touring the plant and getting that behind the scenes tour.
What was your impression when you and the other mayors went in to see the power plant? I've never been inside one. I've been on the outside. What was your impression?
My impression was, first and foremost, it was safe. It was really secured. And next door was a school. It was right next door. And also on the property, they had a nice public park there for the citizens.
Right.
And nice homes nearby. So I had a great experience.
What will the nuclear power plant closest to you, what does that mean for Walnut Cove?
I think for the area in Stokes County, Walnut Cove, you know, economic development, you're going to bring in more construction workers for jobs and more employees, more than what's existing now in the, you know, coal plant. So I think also there's maybe a potential for maybe a hotel coming through there. And also, if you look at the county, the tax basis, possibly it would increase.
If it's okay with Jimmy, I want to go off topic just a little bit since you're first time visitor here and ask you a personal question. What made you want to get involved with public service, and what gratification do you get from being mayor?
I was asked. I was asked to run back in 2019.
Right.
I worked in, they asked me to be on planning and zoning. From planning and zoning, they said, I think you have great potential to be the mayor. I was the first female elect. I've been in government over 38 years on the food industry side. So.
Right. Well, why do you like it?
I love being mayor. I've been 6 years in. It's all about the people and being fair. We just had exciting about, you know, building our first town hall in 136 years.
Wow.
And public works building. We are a debt-free town.
Yeah.
So we have a good board of commissioners that you work with and good town managers. And if you look at all of that and put it all into an equation and work for the people, you can get things done. And working with, you know, like, you know, Jimmy with Duke Energy,
yeah,
who support us. And so
let's wrap up when we have a little bit of time left. Any closing thoughts about the demand for power that communities of all sizes, I don't care if it's Walnut Cove or Charlotte or anybody else, talk about that demand and how, you know, what Duke Energy is doing to meet that demand.
Sure, yeah, you know, the state of North Carolina is just seeing unprecedented growth. You know, it's great for an economic development, so there's a lot of big projects that have been announced in the last couple of years. You know, and for us at Duke Energy, we're seeing a lot of demand. I mean, our demand is growing. Demand for electricity is increasing significantly. It's challenging, but, you know, as we're looking down the road, we're kind of an all of the above. So, you know, renewable energy, we've got a lot of plans for new renewable energy, new battery storage, some new natural gas plants. And then new nuclear. Nuclear's got to be a part of that going forward in the future. It's the, you know, the great source of carbon-free, always-on type of electricity. And we want to invest in these new plants in communities that have existing plants because they're relying on that tax base and they're relying on those jobs in those communities.
Yeah, sometime I want to get you back and talk about the demand with some of these new places coming in around PTI and Jet Zero and Boom and all this. What's that going to do? But anyway, up on screen, townofwalnutcove.org is the general website that you can go to for information about the town of our guest, the Honorable Nellie Brown. And you can also go to duke.energy.com. I hope you'll do that. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. Prestigious doesn't have to be expensive. UNCG. Find your way here.
Back now on Triad Today, so glad to welcome this very special guest who's with us. Dr. Elizabeth Kuhn is a neurosurgeon with Novant Health Brain and Spine Surgery located at Kimmel Park in Winston-Salem, and we are so glad to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
By way of Washington, D.C., you said where you grew up. Now, when did you come down to this area?
Well, my mom's family is from the Winston area.
Oh, okay.
She was born and raised here in Winston, and my folks moved back to Davie County a few years ago, and my brother lives there as well. So I did med school here, and after 10 years down in Alabama, an opportunity arose to come back to North Carolina, and I seized it.
Well, now, since we're talking about personal things, we'll get to the neurosurgeon in just a second. But very quickly, who or what led you to a career in healthcare?
So I was exposed to neurosurgery on TV when I was a pretty young kid. I was in elementary school, and it just absolutely captivated me. I thought it was the most interesting thing I had seen. And I woke up the next day and told my parents that I wanted to be a brain surgeon.
I did that yesterday.
And either I'm too stubborn or I never found anything else as interesting and captivating. And several decades later, here we are.
How about that? And you were how old when you were?
I was probably 8 or 9.
How about that?
Yeah.
Child prodigy. All right, now let's get to this. Why would someone typically be referred to a neurosurgeon?
So there's a variety of reasons. We treat all manner of brain and spine disorders that are treated surgically. So that can be anything from a low back disc herniation, arthritic changes in the neck. What I specialize in is tumors of the brain and the spine or spinal cord. But neurosurgeons also treat things like brain aneurysms. You can specialize in a lot of different aspects of neurosurgery, but the majority of the time people see a neurosurgeon mostly for spine problems or brain tumors or spine tumors, things like that.
I'm going to ask an ignorant question. Are there different types of brain tumors, or is a tumor a tumor?
There are absolutely different types of brain tumors. There's a huge variety, including things that are completely benign, which are actually very common, to the more malignant or cancerous types of tumors. So yes, there's a big variety in what we see, and it really depends on exactly what it is that the tumor is that determines how folks do.
But would I have symptoms? What kind of symptoms, if there are any, of a brain tumor?
The most common symptom is headache, just from something taking up space in the brain. But depending on where the tumor is, for example, if it's in a part of the brain that's responsible for speech, you may have speech or language troubles. If it's in the frontal lobe, you might have behavior or personality changes. You can have weakness, numbness on one side of the body. Seizures are also a very common presentation.
So from almost benign symptoms to very serious symptoms.
Absolutely,
almost
yeah.
like the condition itself. How do you screen for a brain tumor?
The first thing is to do a good exam to look for any neurologic symptoms or signs, and then we get brain imaging, usually with a CT or an MRI scan.
How do you treat these in general?
The majority are treated with surgery to remove, and if it's a benign type of tumor, surgery is usually curative. If it is a more aggressive or malignant cancerous type of tumor, Sometimes we add radiation or chemotherapy as well.
Not to put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming you would advise people who are watching not to fool around with this stuff. If they have headaches, if they have other symptoms, just...
Absolutely, because the earlier that we find things, especially if they're smaller, they're easier to treat, and the risk of surgery is less. So yes, if you're having symptoms like this, you should certainly talk to your primary care doctor. Is the first place to start. Exactly.
All right. Up on screen, Novant Health Brain and Spine Surgery, Kimball Park in Winston-Salem. The number there is 765-6637 if you want to make an appointment. The general website, of course, NovantHealth.org. Dr. Elizabeth Kuhn, I appreciate all you're doing. I'm glad you settled back in this area where you have family, and for all you're doing to help people. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today, and we welcome two special guests who do such special work for so many people. It means a lot to me personally, and because they work with hospice. Laura Owen is CEO of Hospice of Davidson County. Ashley Millam is marketing manager, and we welcome both of you.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Laura, let me start with you. What's the mission of Hospice of Davidson County, and who do you serve?
Okay, well, we primarily serve those in Davidson County and surrounding counties. We've been caring for our community for 40 years, so we're really proud of that. But we're also dedicated to providing expert medical care and psychosocial care, spiritual care, when someone's disease process is further along.
Right, you get the whole team working for you with that,
Right.
which it's just great. Anybody that knows about this knows what that team effort means. There's some misconceptions, I think, from people that think that hospices must receive all the federal money they need or the state money, whatever, but fundraising is very important to you, right?
It is. We're relying on strong community support, and Ashley is a big help with that. I don't know if you want to share last year about our charity care and also what's coming up to help raise funds for charity
Absolutely,
care.
that's a good lead in there because the charity care is important, right?
It is. So part of our mission at Hospice of Davidson County is providing end-of-life care to those regardless of their ability to pay. And last year alone, we provided over $480,000 in charity care.
That's just great.
So the fundraising events that we do throughout the year are such a big help to us being able to do that each and every
Right,
year.
and one of the things I want to ask you about specifically, because it's coming up, is Ride for Angels. Now, and you've done that before. What is this all about, and when will this one be held?
Yeah, so we have our 18th annual Ride for Angels coming up. It's going to be on Saturday, July the 19th, so just next weekend. And it will start at Denton Farm Park. So for all of the motorcycle riders in the area, we encourage you to come out. And we will do registration starting at 8:30.
Right.
Kickstands will go up at 10 o'clock. It's a 60-mile ride
Wow.
through Davidson County.
What if I don't ride motorcycles, which I don't? I mean, I can still come out and support the cause, right?
Absolutely, yes. So this year we are doing a cruise down Main Street to celebrate our 40th service year. So we're encouraging people in the community to come down to Uptown Lexington, line the sidewalks with signs, and encourage our riders and thank them for everything that they do for us.
Since we're just meeting each other for the first time and first appearance on Triad Today, I want to end by, we have a few seconds left, on a personal note. And I want to ask each of you your personal story as to why you're involved and why you support hospice.
Well, I was originally looking for an opportunity to be more integrated in my community, but do something that had community impact and really elevated the quality of life for the residents where I called home. And certainly that's what we do in end-of-life care, is help provide all the supports that are needed so that people live fully until their passing.
Any personal relations with you?
Yes, sir. So my grandmother actually received hospice care, and I remember looking at my mom at that final moment when the nurse was standing at her bedside, the hospice nurse, and I said, I want to do that, Mom, when I get older.
Bless your heart.
And so I've been with Hospice of Davidson County now since 2009, and it's definitely a passion that I have to help our community.
Great to have folks like Ashley on the team, right?
Oh, yeah, she's fantastic.
I know it. I want to put something up on screen. Ride for Angels, as Ashley mentioned, that's Saturday, July 19th, Denton Farm Park. Registration 8:30. Ride begins at 10 a.m. Come out even if you don't ride motorcycles. You can go to hospiceofdavidson.org is the website for more information. That's hospiceofdavidson.org. That's up on screen as well. To Laura and Ashley, I can't thank you enough for what you do for so many folks.
You.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back after this.
Now boarding zone 3.
Back now on Triad Today, we welcome back a guest who's been with us before. We're always glad when he can spare a few minutes with us. Rafael Orozco is Director of Recruitment for Shift Ed. Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you for having me again, Jim.
What's the mission of Shift Ed? Let's remind everybody, and who do you serve?
Yes, so Shift Ed is all about boldly accelerating student potential. And right now we are serving the Guilford County schools and really some of the nearby districts as well, just really giving back to the communities and helping these students just achieve their lifelong goals.
Get ready for college and get ready for life.
Exactly.
Now, I know that you're involved very closely with the SEO Scholars Program, so remind everybody what SEO Scholars Program is all about and what's your role in it.
Yeah, so SEO Scholars is a free 8-year academic supplemental program. And what we do is we work with students for 8 years of their life, from the 9th grade through college graduation. And it is free of charge to parents and guardians. And it's really just helping the student get the academic support that they need in math, ELA, free tutoring, and getting all the different resources we offer within the program to ensure that they go on to college graduation.
And we'll put up the website and everything in just a second. But is there a particular type of student that you're looking for? Because again, this is not something that's expensive, it's free. But I guess there's certain qualifications. I mean, how do you decide?
Yeah, that's a great question. So within our program, a lot of our students come from different backgrounds. So we don't have a particular student that we look for. We really just look for somebody that's willing to invest in themselves, know the long-term goals that they want to achieve, and really just commit to getting where they want to be through the program, getting the academic support in the math, the ELA, and ensuring that they go on to continue to do well in school and overall.
You mentioned academic support. Let me pin you down on something. Give me a specific example of an activity or a program or help or something that if I'm in this program or my kid's in this program, what do they get?
Yeah, so with SEO, you get supports in math and ELA specifically, but let's say if a student is taking an AP course in their school, right, in high school, and that they might need a little bit of extra help, we offer free tutoring resources that go above and beyond just the math and the ELA to ensure that that student does well in that class, or maybe they need just a little push to prepare for a test or whatever it may be. We're there just helping them along the way, offering not just math and ELA, but really resources throughout whatever they're taking within their journey in school.
Yeah, I know when people, not recently, but I have heard from personal experience that sometimes you'll go into these programs with people giving you help or tutoring, that kind of thing. It can be expensive, but here, you're offering that for free. I think you sent me an email one day that said you have an event coming up on September 4th. What's that about?
Yeah, so as the school year gets rolling, we're going to be in the schools in the fall, and one thing that I do want to highlight is that on September 4th, we're going to be at the Circle Center in High Point, and what we're going to be doing there is really allowing families, students that just pique their interest, want to learn a little bit more about what SEO Scholars is. It's the perfect time to get to meet me, the admissions team, some of the SEO Scholars staff, and current students in our program that can tell you a little bit about what they've done and how it's impacted their academics.
Now, of course, we realize not everybody's going to be available on September 4th, and that leads me to this question. Do I understand that you personally will actually go out to schools and meet with students? Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that work?
That's a great question. So I'm all about meeting the student where they are. And I will meet students wherever they need me to be, whether it's after school, whether it's before school, at their school. Maybe it's they're working a part-time job and I can come on their break and talk to them. Whatever it is, I'm really just about the people and really ensuring that if you are interested in the program, I help you get the application into the admission site.
You know, Shift Ed has not been around that long, and you guys are doing great work. But I guess what I'm wondering is, in the very short time that you've been doing what you're doing, what kind of feedback do you get? Do you have a sense that these things, services and activities are making a difference in the lives of some of these kids as you start to work with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times when a student graduates high school and they're going to college, they'll come back and come greet us. Hey, you know, what you did really helped me. This scholarship really helped me. You know, I really appreciate y'all going above and beyond, meeting me where I was at, because that really made an impact in my life. It's always the little short stories that you come back and hear from students that really just make me feel like I did my job the right way.
Right, because you guys, you know, do make scholarships available, and you can find out more about that on shifted.org, the website shifted.org, and hope you will do that. Raphael, I appreciate all you're doing for so many kids. Thanks.
Thank you for having me, Jim, of course.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, and almost time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at the Kernersville Auto Museum. It is a fantastic place. It's free to come in here on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Please do that. You can rent the facility too for special events. You can't rent Ogie though. You can't afford him. On my right, but always political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. Speaking of great broadcaster, one of my favorites, Rosemary Plyman's with us today, and a special guest, David Daggett, who will be here next week as well. But he's filling in for Keith today. Here we go. Last month, a family flew into PTI from another country. One of the children was sick with measles. The family spent several days in the Triad, putting thousands of people at risk. However, health officials refused to reveal what country the family came from, saying such information could lead to, quote, racial profiling, unquote. When it comes to infectious disease, guys, doesn't the public have the right to know the origin of a disease in case we are able to put guardrails in place? Ogie.
Well, I mean, if it were COVID or AIDS or something, I mean, measles is kind of doesn't exactly rise to the level of freaking out over. You know, I'm not. I don't
There's some people
with
can die from it, but I mean, yeah, Rosemary.
I think it can rise to that level, so I'll disagree there. But I don't think we need to know the country of origin. That doesn't help us at all as far as protecting ourselves. I mean, the vaccine is the best way to protect yourself, or the only way right now we know of.
Right. And by the way, why is there a gap between you and Ogie, but you're almost on David's lap? I'm not understanding how that got hold. All right, David, now what do you think about this? Do we have the right to know the origin of a country?
I'm going to take the other side on this. I think we've got something bubbling up regarding measles, and because of that bubble up, people are on guard a little bit more, and I think the guardrails and the right to know could be important for people. It then begs the question, I'm going to argue the other side, is should we know if people are coming from Texas? Because there's been an outbreak in Texas.
Right.
So where do you start and where do you stop?
Good point. Now, according to legal experts, now we've talked about this thing about the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools $42 million mess up that's putting teachers' salaries at risk and everything. But this is a different twist on it. According to legal experts, if a public employee misapplies public funds, it's the same as embezzlement, and they could go to prison. Now, as it turns out, that's what happened. It was misapplied from the people that made this mistake. Should those responsible for this $42 million mistake actually go to prison? Ogie.
I'm not sure that embezzlement and misapplication are synonymous. Not even roughly synonymous.
Well, according to the state code, it is.
I don't get it. I don't agree with that at all. I don't.
Well, and I wonder, does there have to be malice involved? Because there doesn't appear to be malice in this case. And, you know, like in a libel case, you have to prove malice.
Right, David.
Well, what there has to be is rens mea, which means that you have to have known what you were doing, and there has to be some level of intent. If the evidence shows some level of intent in the misappropriation, I say absolutely.
Yeah, because it's not like somebody stole money and took it home with them. It just misapplied it. But it's still under the code, state code, it says it's embezzlement. All right, Washington State and Virginia have enacted laws that require anti-speeding devices be installed in cars belonging to reckless drivers. The device prevents the vehicle from exceeding the speed limit. Would you like to see North Carolina require the use of anti-speeding devices for folks who have been cited for speeding and reckless driving? Ogie.
No, it's not like a blow and go. Sometimes you need to speed up to avoid an accident. If you're passing somebody and there's a car, you realize you got to either speed up or hit the brakes. Sometimes you've just got to hit the gas.
Rosemary.
I see. I think so many accidents are caused by speed now, and that we have kind of talk about drunk driving so much that that we've lost sight of that speed kills just as many people, and I think it's a good idea.
I think we need to look into, are they habitual speeders,
right,
habitual reckless drivers, or is it an incidental situation like Ogie's talking about?
Right.
If it's habitual, yes, I support it. If it's incidental, no, I don't.
All right, Republican U.S. Senator Tom Tillis says he will not seek re-election next year. Former Democratic Governor Roy Cooper and Republican Laura Trump have been mentioned as possible candidates. So Pat Harrigan, Congressman Pat Harrigan, former Governor Pat McCrory, former Congressman Mark Walker. Who will get the nominations and who will win? Ogie Overman.
Roy is my boy.
He can
all
do
the
it.
Republicans are all losers. Every one of them's a loser.
Well, in what way? I mean,
I hate to sound like Trump. They've all lost elections.
Not Pat Harrigan.
Who is he?
He's a congressman from the 10th. He was on this show.
Is he the guy
You
that
don't watch the show.
is he the guy that has the gun over his campaign ad?
He's a veteran. He's a veteran, and Ogie doesn't watch Triad Today, so
I watch the last 8 minutes.
I think we should have a Jim Longworth, Ogie Oberman debate right here live.
I thought you were going to say a ticket.
Well, I would vote for that ticket.
All right, who wins this thing?
Yeah, I don't know, but this is going to be one to watch for sure. And those are a lot of names that not only we know in North Carolina, but we know around the country now. And so I believe there's going to be a lot of eyes on that.
There's going to be a lot of eyes. There's going to be a lot of drama. Throw them all in a bag, shake it up real good, and pull them out. I think you're going to have Cooper versus Trump. Cooper versus Trump will be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
It'll create the most national attention of any race in the country,
right,
and get prepared for a zoo in North Carolina.
Absolutely. I have no idea what time we have now, but I'm going to go to the final thing. According to CNN, an increasing number of people are using mouth tape in order to help them sleep better at night. Guys and gals, have you ever considered taping yours or someone else's mouth shut? Ogie.
Not for sleeping, no.
Yeah,
not for sleeping, for a lot of other reasons.
Yeah.
During the day, waking hours.
Waking
it sounds like
hours.
a better idea.
What about you, David? Mouth tape?
When I was a young kid growing up, if you were getting a sore throat, that was the cure, is to tape your mouth before you went to bed.
That's just so you couldn't ask for medicine.
And it would cure the sore throat.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, you just heard from Dr. David Daggett on something. All right, well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this, Pope Leo, our new American-born Pope, just found out last week he is related to some very famous celebrities, including Madonna. Why not, said the Pope. Madonna's like a virgin. I don't know what that means. All right, for all of us here at Try It Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.